Ladies and gentlemen, first toast of the night. Give it up one more time, father of the groom, Ed.
I'm Canadian, but not really, because I'm toasting in water, because I drank all the wine at our table. My name is Ed Pavlin. For those of you that I have not met, I am the father of the groom. I was asked to give a toast, and so I'll form this, since I know him best, as a toast to the groom. First of all, of course, I have to acknowledge something about Brianna. We've been hearing all about how pleasant and nice and supportive she is and all that sort of stuff. Those of us that are married know that's easy premarital. I mean, they're all nice. What are they really like? You know, can you predict what they'll be like after the marriage? I can predict that Brianna is truly sweet, nice, and polite. And the reason I can do that is even when she's blasted out of her mind, she is still pleasant, and so on. Now, how do I know this? You may ask that, and so confirmed by her friends. How do I know this? Well, Janet volunteered our house for her party, for her bridal shower, and Brianna asked me to make some barbecue for it, so I made pulled pork sliders and chicken, made sure everybody got their food, and then ran like hell with my dog and hid and locked the door upstairs, wanting to have nothing to do. About an hour later, here comes Brianna, opens the door, says, "Hi," and much of the time she's vertical as she tilts from left to right. There's a short time of her being upright, and her friendliness is just, "Hi, how are you?" And I know she really cared, because in the next 5 minutes she asked that same question 6 times. And I come from north central Manitoba, grew up in 40 below country. We like our women to be able to hold their liquor. She can. And she's a pleasant drunk. God, it's so good. I'm sure there's times when she's sober, but anyway. So again, my respect for Brianna. What I'm really here for is to talk about the groom. Now, his friends are going to do that. I was very interested to hear this party animal stuff and wondered just where the hell all that tuition money was going when he went to WSU. And now I know. I didn't think they charged that much for tuition. But at any rate, with Chris, I'd like to offer the thought that for every parent, our hope is that they're better than we are, and that they're smarter, that wiser, not smarter, wiser, that they're better looking, and that they have characteristics that perhaps their parents could use improvement on. And Chris has fulfilled that in a lot of areas. And I'd like to just acquaint you with at least 2 of them, just for points of discussion. And one is athletics, and the other is something that I would like to refer to as spousal verbal interaction. More about that later. In the field of athletics, Chris is so much better an athlete than I am. It really ticks me off. I played basketball and football. Jan and I have skied. We've done all these bloody things and gotten reasonably good at them. Chris is a natural. We made sure he played a lot of sports. Baseball, he pitched. He was kind of undersized but highly accurate. And I remember all these big kids wanting to bat against him, except he could put the ball wherever he wanted, and he had a natural curveball, and he was striking them out, and they couldn't understand what was happening. He played basketball. Had I had his crossover dribble when he was in grade 6, I would have been the star in high school and college. As it was, I was a bench sitter. What he really could do, we started him skiing at age 3, both days of the week, for taking lessons for the next 11 years. He raced. After that, he instructed. Beautiful skier. And I thought, watching him at age 7, I thought, when it gets to 12 years old, 13. He's going to be so much better. It happened 10. He was way ahead of us at 10 years of age. About, God, I'm trying to think. About 9 years ago, we took him helicopter skiing for a week with a bunch of our friends in the Adamants in the Canadian Rockies. And there was this one time, beautiful day, foot of powder, sunshine, and I'm standing with our friends, and here comes Chris, perfect turns, hits a rock, for God's sake, takes a jump about 15 in the air, perfect tuck, lands it, and he's turning before he even lands. And we're looking at each other saying, wow. And he hadn't skied for about 2 years. He'd been at Wazoo, and the only sport at Wazoo is tilting a tin can of very cheap beer. Chris went on. He played basketball, and he had this great crossover. Unfortunately, kids a foot and a half taller than him also had a crossover. So he played lacrosse in high school and was a very good tennis player. And he lettered all 4 years of his time in Mercer Island. And one time I used to try and get his practices. And God, one time, I don't know if any of you remember Michael Chang, but Michael Chang won the French Open at age 17. He was ranked number 2 in the world in the pro tennis circuit. And he had moved his family to Mercer Island, and his brother was his coach. And this one time, Chris's coach, who was this guy at this tennis club, and I think Chris was 11, 12, I forget. Anyway, his coach had something to do, and Michael Chang comes over, why don't I hit with Chris for the next hour? You go ahead and go that. And so I'm watching Chris hit with Michael Chang, and he's right on. I mean, the ball is coming it was something to watch. As I say, Janet and I have done a lot of things, a lot of skiing, a lot of cycling, a lot of climbing, a lot of this, a lot of that. My two favorite athletic division was that ski run and hitting with Michael Chang. Now, the other place where the son has clearly outdone the daughter is in what I refer to as spousal verbal interaction. This is a bloody minefield, and Chris is a lot better at it than I am. And I'll just describe two aspects where he's so much better. The first one is where the spouse feels compelled to improve you, married. You have some, what she discerns as bad habits, and you know, why don't you pick up your clothes? Well, every guy knows that it keeps them handy on the floor and they don't wrinkle. Why the belching after a Bud Light? Science has shown it's a perfectly legitimate way to get rid of excess carbon dioxide. Always something. Why do you watch so much television? ESPN 24/7, education at its best, right? But no. So when I was confronted with this in my own marriage, I would fight back. I would argue. Really, really stupid. Chris is much smarter than that, and he realizes that the technique is, first of all, maintain eye contact. Secondly, nod your head at just the right time. Thirdly, appear sincere and contrite. Now, by contrite, I don't mean weak, because if you look weak, it's blood in the water to a piranha. You just don't want to do that. And notice I said appear sincere. You don't have to be sincere. You have to look sincere. And Chris is terrific at that. And what he has realized that took me years and years and years, decades of agony to realize is when it's all done, she's back to texting her friends about God knows what, and life goes on exactly the same. Women don't change, or women change after marriage, men never do. I mean, it's the facts of life, and away you go. And you don't have to put up with all this stuff that I did. I stand in awe. The other area is when she comes home from work and she's had a bad day, and she wishes to, God, that awful word, she wants to share, right? So Janet would come home, and some bloody surgeon was ragging on her and all that sort of stuff. And I would get angry, and I said, well, look, this is what you should do, and this is what I would do. Really, really stupid. It had nothing to do with anything. I was an engineer by training before a physician. Engineers solve problems. I saw this as a problem to solve. Wrong. Chris being of a better generation, understands there's an app for that, right? And so when you look at the app, and how do you handle the situation? And it's under wife complaining, bad day, and you can get Siri to do all the talking, but perhaps that doesn't sound sincere. But the way to do it is maintain eye contact, right? Nod at the proper time. Show interest. Notice I didn't say be interested. You show interest. And there's a list of appropriate words to use in this somewhat one-way conversation, the sharing conversation. None of them have anything to do with fix, solve, or this is what I would do. Strictly out of the line. There are words like, wow. Really? She said that? What a, and a bunch of nouns that start with B, and you can choose whichever one you want to use. And again, wiser than his father in this particular spousal communication. I'll wrap up. This is where some advice should be going. I'm giving no advice, but I am going to quote. It's interesting. There was a recent study that was quoted in the Times and was also discussed on NPR just 3 weeks ago, and it looked at people who had been married more than 30 years, and what characteristic allowed that to happen. And the characteristic, and serious, it was they were, one, have respect for each other and express that. Secondly, every issue has to be discussed out. Even if you argue it out. Never use silence as a weapon. The third one was share as much as you can of your time and your activities and the things you love. And the last one was really good, which was choose the right mate. In other words, marry well. Not always that easy, but marry well. And I would like to offer the thought that Chris has married well. And if I may express a bit of familial pride, Brianna, you've really married well. So I would like to offer a toast to the groom. To the groom, yes? And a toast to his bride. Thank you.
Fantastic. One more time for Ed, father of the groom. Thank you. Ron Geisbush, ladies and gentlemen.
Once again, hello everybody. As I said, Brianna probably has a few people starting up the timers. See, when my younger daughter got married, I went 15 and a half minutes. So I figured I could go 12 and a half minutes, because that's what I've got in mind right now. But that's not quite what Brianna said, since she's over there shaking her head no. Everybody, look at this couple right here. Aren't they beautiful? Yes, Chris, you are beautiful. As Brianna's dad, I have just a few minutes to speak, but she never said anything about my alter ego.
Okay.
Seeing that she didn't talk about the alter ego, that means I've got a few extra minutes. Just a few, Brianna. I would like to thank everybody for being here for my daughter's wedding. And now I can honestly say for my son-in-law. You may have traveled a short bit from just Post Falls, maybe as long away as from Canada. Some of Chris's family introduced themselves last night as, I'm just another Canadian. And some of you may have traveled farther. And I sincerely, as Brianna's dad, want to thank you for everybody that is here to celebrate this special moment for this couple. Ron and I decided not to bore you with the special moments that Brianna and I had while she was growing up. From the moments of puffy cheeks, teaching her how to drive in downtown Spokane in my van. But there were many other moments that Brianna and I had. And again, I'd like to just keep those between her and I that were just very special while she was growing up. Ron and I also discussed whether he should speak off the cuff and go on and on and on, or maybe write it down. So we both decided, his alter ego and I, to write it down, and this is what we came up with. And on a more serious note, okay, Juliana, where are you? Now you can put your finger on the timer. I'm not saying it's going to end at 3.5 minutes, but oh, wait a minute, somebody said 5 minutes. Do I have anybody for 6? All right. As Brianna's very proud dad, I would like to say there are more weddings right now around the world than I would care to count. None of those, whether in the U.S. or throughout the world, have a more beautiful bride than the one sitting right in front of me. Moments ago, maybe a few more moments, I was asked, who presents this woman? I didn't hear who presents this woman. Who presents this woman, my daughter? And even though she's nearing her late 20s, what I heard was, Daddy, I met a wonderful man I want to run away with and marry. As much as I prepared for this day, I was not ready for that question. And to be quite honest with you, I'm still not ready for that, even though I have already said, the minister, that her family and I do give her away to Chris. Chris, after some of the stories I've heard, I won't say any more about that. Chris, welcome to the family circus. And Brianna, have you guys bought matching hikers yet? Well, for Chris to belong to this family, remember he's got to have hikers. So I recommend the two of you have to go out and buy the matching hikers now. I'll even get a gift certificate somewhere for him. Marriages, like births, mark a new beginning. The day I drove home from the hospital after Brianna was born was a new beginning for me. To be the father of a daughter seemed a bit overwhelming, but anticipation for her life and for our relationship helped me overcome my fears to work hard to be father of such a worthy daughter. And that may have come out wrong. To be a father worthy of such a daughter. Stick with me here. Brianna, you're a very elegant woman. You are absolutely beautiful. With everything you've done throughout your life, how could a father be any more proud of what you have accomplished? Take away the makeup, the fancy nails, the hairdo.
No.
The beautiful hairdo. And you simply have a natural beauty about you. I've always thought about that throughout all these years, every time I see you, that there's just a natural beauty about you. And Chris, when you look at this woman, my baby girl, I hope you not only see the beauty radiating from outside, but the beauty from inside for everything that she has accomplished, for the woman that she is today, and for what she has to offer you the rest of your lives. And I know it goes both the same ways, Brianna. Hopefully when you see this handsome guy next to you, I hope you see what inside he has to offer you. Be true to each other always. Share your joys and your burdens. Love much and laugh often. Be each other's best friend. Always speak well of one another in private as well as in public. And I emphasize in public. I don't believe in making fun of or making sarcastic remarks in public. For this is somebody who you love and are very proud of to be with. Married life is an adventure, and you embark today on that adventure together. And even though you are individuals, your covenant today makes the couple more important than either of you separately. Today, we stand at another new beginning as Brianna and Chris start a brand new family. Another grandchild would any day, any time, would be really cool. So I hope there isn't any news that I have to get real quick. Actually, Brianna just took 2 quick drinks on that one. Well, count that as a third. So today, your friends and family surround you as you begin something new and marvelous. Remember your promises. Keep them with all your heart. And I just can't emphasize that enough. And you will always have that sense of joy and wonder that exceeds all you have ever known. With all my heart, I offer you my congratulations and warmest wishes as you begin the latest adventure life has to offer. A toast to my daughter. She was a gift from God, and I will always be grateful to have been given the honor of being her father. And a toast to my son-in-law, also a gift from God. Mr. and Mrs. Ed Pavlin, I would like to thank you for everything that you have done to help Chris become the gentleman that he is today, that I have seen, regardless of all the stories I have heard. Ladies and gentlemen, if the wind quits blowing. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, a toast to my beautiful daughter and son-in-law. We toast. One more thing. Sorority ladies, where are you? You told me last night that you were going to rock it. All right, let's see you beat that, ladies.
One more time, guys. Ron Geisbush, father of the bride. You got any more? No, come on, give it up for Ron. All right, here we go. And next we have up the maids of honor, Jess and Alicia. All right, popular.
Challenge accepted, Ron. Challenge accepted. Okay, so anyone who doesn't know who we are the co-maids of honor, Jessica and Alicia. We've known Brianna since college. We met freshman year. Alicia's sophomore year. It's cool. I'm older. She's older. She's cooler. It's fine. And we've been absolutely inseparable ever since, and that's why she couldn't pick between the two of us. And so we're co-maids of honor. And we're really excited to do the speech for you today.
If you guys know Brianna, a couple loves of her life besides Chris, one of them being karaoke. So when Jess and I thought about doing the perfect speech and all the pressure, we thought, how do we tell a story? How do we express our love for Brianna? And it was very clear that the best way to express our love is one of her favorite songs.
Hit it. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a romance, it's clear for all of us to see. Alicia and I can't believe that you're now married. Just the best friends. We just came to party because we're easy come, easy go.
Kinda drunk, here we go.
Anyway, the booze flows. Doesn't really matter to us. To us. I lost my voice, I'm sorry. Brianna just said I do. Yes, they both have said. Ring on finger, now they're wed. Brianna, life has just begun. And Chris has thrown his bachelor life away. Brianna and Chris too. Live it up with your friends tonight. You'll be in St. John's by this time tomorrow. Get it on, 'cause that's all that really matters. You met on Match.com. Thank God for internet. What if you had never met? Now cheers, everybody. We toast to you. Drink up, the speech is only halfway through. Chris, it's you. You told her I love you. She'll want to hear that all the time from you. see a little silhouette of a man. Oh shit, didn't mean to make a short joke. Brianna wants a baby, very, very scary. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready, dear daddy? She's just a small town girl from an Efi family.
She's the first Rhode Island kid with a great personality.
3 dogs, a cat, and don't forget Billy.
Easy come, easy go, never let her go.
Christopher, no, never let her go.
Oh, we'll find you.
Christopher, never let her go.
Or we'll kill you.
Christopher, never let her go.
Seriously, we'll find you.
Never let her go. No.
Oh, Mama Bev, Mama Jenny, it's time to let them go. The wedding's down, now it's time to throw a great party. So you think and you know that you are really fine. Oh, Pavlins. That's weird saying Pavlins.
You won't have to tell
People how to spell Guy's Bush anymore.
We'll sing to you. Ooh yeah. Your love really matters. Everyone can see. True love really matters. True love really matters to me.
Hey, everybody, we need a 5-minute buffer after that. Everybody go get a drink. Everybody needs a drink out when I'm not joking. 5-minute buffer for the groomsmen. Thanks.
Give me a hand in welcoming the best men, Jeff and Jonah.
All right, did everybody get that awful, unfunny, unrehearsed speech out of their system? Good, okay. Hey, so my name is Jonah, this is Jeff. Me and Jeff go back with Chris a very long time. I've known Chris since I was 6. So if you do the math, that means I knew Chris 20 years before Brianna came into his life with those 2 little overgrown barking hamsters, Bronson and Max. And when you know somebody for that long, you get to know them really well. And I'll tell you guys, Chris is very complex. There's many sides of Chris. And today we're going to share with you 3 sides that we've come to specially love. And here's how this is going to work. After each side, we're going to do a cheers, okay? And when we do that cheers, you're going to repeat that name of Chris back to us. So let's, for example, cheers to heli skier Chris. You guys will all raise your glasses up and say, heli skier Chris! You guys got it. You guys rock. Okay. Jeff, start it off, homie.
Now, the first aspect of Chris we want to introduce you to today is
Surprisingly athletic Chris! Don't say it yet, don't say it yet. Surprisingly athletic Chris!
now when you look at Chris, when you really look hard at him, you know, some of the more obvious things that come to mind are just a great guy, funny guy, entertaining guy, great calves, great hair. But I can guarantee you, you can name any sport in the world. Doesn't matter, the most random sport. Just throw them out there. Yep, that's his second best sport. I can guarantee you he is mediocre to above average at it. His raw, multi-sport athletic abilities can only be compared to the greats that have paved the way for him. In softball, Chris is like a modern-day, smaller, whiter version of Bo Jackson. Now, I've witnessed Chris on a couple occasions just knock a dinger over the fence, just step up to the plate. I'm talking not just any dinger, I'm talking a tater, you know, a long shot, moon shot, a real dong, just cranked one out. Bottom half of that same inning, Chris steps on the plate, just starts throwing an array of real nasty stuff, you know, and just strikes out 3 girls in a row to retire the side. Just real impressive stuff. In basketball, Chris's skill set can only be compared to the greats that you see here. He's got a more pure jump shot than Steph Curry. He tears down rebounds more aggressively than LeBron James. His outlet passing is better than Kevin Love. And his defense is even more trifling than James Harden. Now there's a group of us here that play flag football with Chris on occasion. Where are they at? Now it took me a minute to figure out who Chris's player comparison would be. But it dawned on me. Colin Kaepernick. Reason being, he's constantly completing passes to the other team. Hey, that's my quarterback. Little side note on that. Chris's speed rating, since he had knee surgery last year, his Madden speed rating, I shit you not, has gone from a 60 to a 65. It's insane. Now, there's been a few times I've been blessed enough to be in Chris's presence when he puts on the clinic that he does when he bowls. Now, it's just amazing. I mean, he's basically comparable to a real life Ernie McCracken from that movie Kingpin.
Terrifying picture of Chris. Don't look right at it.
Mixed with some sort of Greek god of bowling as he strikes down pin after pin. Now, some of you guys went and golfed with Chris yesterday, and I'm jealous because every time I've been out with him, I mean, it's just an honor. I mean, to be in the presence of someone with as beautiful as a golf swing as Chris, it's literally the most beautiful thing in the world. He's like a Charles Barkley, basically. As he brings the club back, it's like angels descend from heaven, come down, take control, and finish his stroke. I don't understand it. It's beautiful. Now, perhaps Chris's best sport is going to be, definitely his best sport is tennis. Now, year-round, Chris enjoys taking advantage of the elderly as he plays in the 80 and over age bracket of his local club. He's methodical when he picks apart his opponent with his power serve.
Alliteration.
So, don't be fooled by Chris's skin tone or his height. He is very surprisingly athletic. So here, put a glass up, put him up.
Put him up.
Cheers to surprisingly athletic Chris.
Okay. The second dimension in the complex tapestry that is Chris is... Hit him, Jeff. The second dimension in the complex tapestry that is Chris is...
Party animal Chris.
Now, most of you guys have had a chance to meet Party Animal Chris. So you guys have seen the kind of enthusiasm he brings to partying. He's a freaking animal. But hopefully I can tell you a couple things you didn't know about Party Animal Chris. The first is that Chris is an incredible, beer pong drinking game player. What we say is when Chris gets in that sweet spot between like 3 and 19 drinks, he's basically unstoppable. And when you couple that enthusiasm for partying with that kind of skill at drinking games, Chris has had to come up with a couple systems on how to keep track of how many drinks you've had. I have 2 favorite systems I'm going to share with you today. When we went to Chris's bachelor party, Obviously, we made t-shirts. Oh, Chris. And since all of us were wearing the t-shirts on the first night, Chris forcibly imposed a rule on us, and he said, hey, everybody's got to put a tally mark on the back of the shirt for how many drinks you've had. And I'm not going to embarrass Chris, because this is wedding night, we're not going to embarrass Chris. So I'll tell you about my night. I woke up the next day in the bathtub naked. Yeah. And I didn't want to get out. I just said, hey, if someone needs the bathroom, they'll tell me to leave. I'll wait till then. And the first person to find me was Chris. And Chris came in and he said, man, how many did you have? And I said, I don't know, dude. I think I had like 10 or 12. And Chris's eyes lit up and he said, where's your shirt? Yeah. And Chris showed me this. Holy shit, 17! Hey, I thought I had 12. That's great! Because of Chris imposing this system of facts and data, I found out that Hyatt exceeded my own estimate by 50%. That's great. Yeah. Chris, thank you for putting that system in place. I appreciate it. Hey, the next system that I'm going to show you is something that Chris used in Wazoo with his buddy Drew Pyle, who's also in this picture. And it's called beer staffs.
Chris loves beer staffs.
I don't know if you guys can see the picture real well, but the way beer staffs works, it's highly complex, so stay with me here, is you drink a beer out of a can, and then when you finish it and you start a new one, you take the empty one, you duct tape it to the bottom of the other one, and as you finish beers, it kind of gets longer and longer. So you can see in this picture here, they're just kind of getting started. And so the way it works is you get about 5 beers deep and you look like a complete Jengus. And then you get about 10 beers deep and you're like Drew here, who has to use 2 hands to hold it up. And then you get about 15 beers deep, and now the staff is taller than you, and you're the worst guy at the party because you can't get around anywhere without hitting somebody in the face or knocking over a drink. No one wants to be around you, no one wants to see you. So really, it's kind of like a tool in moderation. Because hey, it's all about moderation. Am I right? Hey, but I'll tell you, the best thing and my favorite thing about Party Animal Chris is that Party Animal Chris never gives up. And so when you gaze upon this picture of Chris in 2006 drinking Milwaukee's Best Ice, which is the choice beer of all homeless people, with his baggy jeans because his rap album just went double platinum. Hey, just know, I didn't go back to 2006 for any reasons other than historical significance. The down select process was grueling. I had like 20 of these to pick from. But the important lesson about Party Animal Chris is that the party's not over until Chris says it is. So everyone, put them up. Cheers to Party Animal Chris! Whoa!
Now, the third and final aspect of Chris that we want to bring you to today, before we start getting into the nice stuff, is Jonah?
Speed racer, Chris!
Now, for those of you that don't know, it is absolutely horrifying to ride in a car with Chris. Many of you are probably very familiar. But I can remember back when Chris got his license in high school, he immediately went out and got a car straight out of the Fast and the Furious movie. And he thought he was Dominic Toretto, you know, Vin Diesel. He would fly into the school parking lot, blasting Eminem with his subwoofer, revving his engine with his deafening muffler. Pretty sure he had underglow. You know what that is? That's neon lights under your car. He would pull into his parking spot like a lunatic and just drop some lines out of the Fast and the Furious like he just won a street race. Like, he'd get out and someone would say to Chris, "Dude, I almost had you." And Chris would be like, "You almost had me? You never had me. You never had your car." Granny shifted, not double clutching like you should. You lucky that double shot of NOS didn't blow the valves on the intake. Ask any racer, any real racer. It don't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. And that's just how Chris lived his life, a quarter mile at a time. I can vividly remember riding with Chris on many occasions back in college, over the pass in his Acura Integra in the dead of winter. It was terrifying. I literally would just put my head in my lap. I couldn't look. And I would just pray that this maniac wouldn't frickin' kill me. Chris, whoever gave you a license as a Lyft driver should be put in prison. I don't know how many speeding tickets you have, but I remember a few years ago, I'm pretty sure it was in the 20s or so. And that's not an exaggeration. But since he's been with Brianna, I don't think I have heard of a single one. So something's going on there. So put him up. This is cheers to Brianna. Thank you for making our roads much, much safer. And cheers to Speed Racer Chris.
All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed learning about those 3 facets of Chris we wanted to share with you. Look, we also kind of dug deep for some nice stuff to say about Chris. We're going to get into that, but before we do, we'll say some stuff about Brianna. You ready, Brianna? But seriously, Jeff, I, and everybody that knows you, Brianna, thinks you're absolutely incredible. And when you guys started dating, I'll say this, but when you guys started dating and you met Chris's circle, I would think that'd be fairly intimidating because there's a lot of us. But you have this talent for when you meet somebody for the first time, even if you're meeting like 15 other people at the same time, you can lock them in, make them feel like they're the only person in the room. And that's a skill that you have. It's a gift that you share so freely. We're so thankful to have it. The other thing that we love so much about you, and this is something that Jeff and I can relate to because we both have amazing wives.
Shout out to Kat and Mary.
Is that, one role of a truly good spouse is that you make the other person the absolute best possible version of themselves. And Brianna, you definitely do that. Right? We've known Chris for 26 years now, but until we met you, we'd never seen these sides of Chris. We'd never seen scholar Chris. We'd never seen career-minded Chris. We'd never seen goal-oriented Chris.
Going to be a Dr. Chris.
And I could obviously go on, but I'll just say that we're so thankful that you're in Chris's life and in our life. Okay. And Chris, this is back to you, bruh. Through all the phases and versions of Chris, the thing that has stayed constant through all of them is the version of you that we love the most. And that version is amazing friend Chris.
Amazing friend Chris!
Look, hey, Chris, we're so proud of you and where you're headed. So we made you this collage. It's a gift. Try not to cry like a baby. And so the final toast, put them up, people. Hey, Chris and Brianna, we love you. We have your backs unconditionally. We're so proud to be up here doing this with you. Cheers to Chris and Brianna.